Hello. Hello, TikTok. I have not been on here for an age. So I'm going to let this thing spread out and find the humans and bring you all here. In my background, you can see my body graph template here. So as you're coming on, you know what we're talking about. We're talking about this. We're talking about the body graph, human design. So I'm going to let the comments just start coming in and yeah, we'll rock and roll. So where this live inspiration really came from was I shared a video on here yesterday where I was bridging a gap between human design and autism. And in general, human design and neurodivergent women who are entrepreneurs or want to be entrepreneurs, and why, to me, learning about your human design is equivalent to when you finally figure out that you're neurodivergent, and why it's so game-changing. And I've posted a lot about human design. Obviously, my whole page is about design and the benefits of design and what design can do for you, but I also get a lot of questions a lot in the comment section about how to use this, what is it, or specific design questions. And so this live video is meant to be a Q&A for your design questions. So if you are new to human design and you're just beginning to fall down that rabbit hole, this is what a human design body graph looks like behind me. Please feel free to ask questions here. That's what this live was set up to do, and to clarify some things on design. One thing, I'm grateful that human design has gotten more popular. I feel like more people are talking about it and it's becoming trendier, which is cool because it's exposing more people to this amazing system. But one thing that I struggle with human design is a lot of pop human design kind of people who are coming in and teaching this system when it's really deep and requires a lot of study to really understand it holistically. I have been studying human design since 2016, so I'm on the 7th year of my experiment. I've been working with clients in human design for the past 2 years. I've been working with entrepreneurs specifically the past year. And this has become my passion and my work in service, is how to apply this beautiful system for entrepreneurs to help them find their way. And I find that for people who are neurodivergent, human design is a godsend, because suddenly you understand the specifics of who you are in an entirely new light. And there's this new lease on life thing that happens when you access human design and begin to see yourself in the reflection of your blueprint. That's game changing. I don't think I've ever had a foundational reading with anybody where they didn't walk away and go mind blown, oh my God, this changes my whole life. This changes my whole trajectory. Everything that I knew about me before is different now. That's a regular occurrence. So yeah, please bring your questions. Do you know about human design? Are you new to human design? Is there anything you still don't fully understand about design and how to apply it? Things of that nature. Hello, welcome. I see more of you are joining. This is an open Q&A for human design, so please feel free to ask questions about design and get my knowledge, my experience. I am a coach of design, so not only do I do assessments and readings, but I also have long-term mentorship containers for design, because one thing is learning about it and another thing is applying it. And the primary basis of my clients are entrepreneurs, people who are just starting business or are pivoting in the middle of their business and want to have a better experience of business with the use of design, which is uniquely brilliant for it, because it talks about everything from marketing to offer creation to whatever. It's genius. So please feel free to drop me the questions. I see so many of you are joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't see any questions yet though, so I will hold off until I see them. I also find that when I've done these lives, a lot of people don't even know what human design is. What is this thing? What are you talking about? So I'm curious if How many of you joining know what human design is but don't know a lot about it versus have no idea what human design is and want to talk about that? Please let me know. Hello, welcome. Welcome. What does this thing do? Welcome. This thing behind me is a body graph. This is when you run your human design chart, which you can do on my website, by the way. This is what you will run. And depending on your design, these centers are going to have different colors. So this one just happens to be all white. It's a reflector chart. But you can have different centers colored. That all means different things. You can have different channels. These lines right here are called channels. They can be colored. That means different things. There's also gates, individual gates that pertain to these ends of the channel that all pertain to something specific. So everybody's body graph looks completely different. Some people have a lot of color. You'll run your chart and you'll notice that you have almost every single one of these centers colored in. Some people have no color, like this. It's all white in the centers with some gates. Those are called reflectors. Hello. I haven't done a live in a long time. I'm here. So bring your HD questions. Ask me. By the way, a lot of you who follow me are reflectors, which is fascinating to me because reflectors are 1% of the population. So it's like rare to find a reflector, and somehow I have like at least 20 that follow me on my profile, which I think is amazing. So interesting. And reflectors, I do find sometimes are one of the types that have the hardest times figuring out how to like exist on the planet, simply because you have so much openness and you're so perceptive and sensitive that everything feels like a lot to a reflector. Their sensitivity is actually their greatest gift. That's what makes a reflector such an important part of any community, is that they can perceive what other people cannot perceive because they are so sensitive, because they're so open. They have no definition in their centers. So if you are a reflector and you are catching this live, or you watch the replay of this live, you should consider yourself to be really special. And we are blessed to have you and to know you, because your perception is incredible. I call the reflector the elder of the aura types, because that's really how they are designed to be in community. Hello, Sedora. I'm glad you're actually here. I figured that was your tag name, but I didn't want to like assume, just because I didn't want to be like, whoops, never mind. But I figured that was the pictures are really small too, so I cannot see the pictures. So Michelle, are you a reflector? Are you a reflector? And I want to say, if you are a reflector and you're on here, the greatest piece of advice I can offer you is that you need to be very mindful of where you physically are, like where you are living, where you are working, who you have around you. You can find out your aura type if you visit my site, which is my name, ShaktiRios.com, SHAKTIRIOS.com. I have a chart generator right on my website. You can run your chart. It'll tell you what your aura type is. It'll also link you, like the aura type will be linked to an Aura Basics course that I offer if you want to take it to learn more about your aura design, but that's how you would know. Hello, a manifestor. Excellent. 9% of the population, also quite rare. Hello, I'm so glad you found me, mental projector. Hi, Dominic. What a cool design. What a cool design you have as a mental projector. I'm also a projector. I'm a splenic projector though. I'm a 1-3 splenic projector. And so I love meeting other projectors. So cool. So reflectors, where you are physically located, who you have in your life is very important because of this center right here. Like this diamond shape that this is called the identity center. And obviously you don't have color in it because you don't have color in any of your centers. But not having a defined G center, this is important for anybody who doesn't have a defined identity center. Where you are physically located makes a world of a difference. But for reflectors, it's like very important because enmeshment is something that reflectors experience where they get kind of absorbed into other people's lives and other people's auras, and they have a hard time with this boundary thing. So be very mindful of the environment that you're in and the people that you have around you, because that really makes a big difference in your experience of reality. High five, projector twin. Yay! Love. Projectors are so special. I love them. I love all the types. I see so much. For me, it's like every single person has so much genius in their chart, and that's something that I love about doing human design assessments. I call my readings human design assessments. All of those are on my links. You can access. I also have holiday specials going on right now. P.S. But just being able to see people's genius is one of like my absolute favorite things in their chart, because we all have it. Every single one of you is an actual genius at something. You have gifts that you just need to know about. Like most of you just don't even know how special you are. But once you have a human design reading, it's like immediately apparent. Also, if human design is something you're interested in and you are a business owner, entrepreneur, or you want to be one and you're just starting out, I have a free webinar that's coming up, and it's linked to in my bio along with like my assessment link and holiday offers. It's going to be on December 8th, and we're going to be talking about 3 key aspects of success that you can find in your chart to help you understand how to improve your success metrics for 2023. So you want to go register for that webinar. It is free. And then once you register, you're going to get an email that's going to have some worksheets for you, because you'll be using those worksheets during the actual masterclass. So get on that registration list and share it with all of your human design humans that are business owners or want to become business owners. The number of people who are looking to become entrepreneurs in 2023 is like more than 50%. It's getting bananas. In 2022, it was like 43%, and now it's turning into like over 50. And a third of those are brand new entrepreneurs who have never had a business before, which I think is so cool, because I literally predicted this. Like for years, I've been saying the new economy is the small business economy. That's the direction that we're moving in. And so I, particularly as a human design mentor, my strengths are really in looking at your genius and helping you figure out how you can create a business around your genius. Or if you're pivoting in your business, how to do that so it matches your genius. Because a lot of times people get into business or a side hustle or whatever, but they get burnt out and they hate it. And the reason that happens is not because of the business itself, it's just the way you're doing it. You're running it incorrectly to your design, so it feels like shit. You feel like you're constantly pushing a boulder up a hill and you're getting nowhere, because it's not happening the way that you naturally are designed to have it happen. As a projector, I 100% understand the struggle. I've had every kind of business. I've been an entrepreneur for 14 years. I've had a brick and mortar business. I've had a mobile business. I've had a product-based business. I've done service-based business. I've literally done network marketing. I've done everything. So when I'm coaching you as an entrepreneur, I understand your industry, I promise. It doesn't matter if you're a realtor. It doesn't matter if you sell skin cream. It doesn't matter if you're a coach. It doesn't matter what business you're in. What I'm going to teach you is going to serve you. I promise. Because everybody has a design. I remember one time someone asked me, well, how does human design help your business? And I said, well, who runs your business? And they were like, a human. And I was like, yeah. That's how human design helps your business. If you're a human behind your business, you better understand how you are meant to operate, because that leaks into your business, obviously, because you are the one running it. So that's important. And if you happen to be neurodivergent and you happen to be someone who has ADHD or autism or something of this nature, neurodivergence in general, please don't believe that you cannot have success or that you are somehow disadvantaged because of that. Absolutely not. The majority of entrepreneurs that I work with actually are neurodivergent, because one of the qualities of being neurodivergent is you take more risks and you're a lot bolder in the things that you do. You don't have that same fear response or that hesitation that neurotypical people do. So it actually makes you the perfect entrepreneur. The thing is understanding how to work with your brain. Like, it's okay if you have a hard time with consistency. I do also, and I'm a successful entrepreneur. It's okay if you have certain schedules that work better for you that go against what most people have. You can do that when you're an entrepreneur. That's the beauty of it. So my biggest passion is showing you that you are not disadvantaged. You have a beautiful, unique aspect of you that wants to be expressed. And my job as a human design specialist is to find it and show it to you, and then help you create a life and a business around that genius, because that's when you're going to feel the most fulfilled. That's when you're going to feel the most lit up inside. And that's the whole point of human design for me, is teaching you how to move with the flow of your life instead of constantly facing resistance. The boxes on the left and the right. So all of these are called centers. So this is your head center. This is your mind. This is the throat. This is the identity center. This is the ego or heart right here. This one is the sacral center, the square here. And the last, oh my God, I'm disappearing. The last box on the bottom is the root center. This is the emotional solar plexus center. And that one is the spleen. The one that's like off cam is the spleen. Oh my gosh, I can't point to it. It's all the way over here on this side. It's a spleen. Yeah. When I go on the site, my body graph, there's boxes on the left and right side. Do you mean arrows? Oh, you mean, okay, I know what you're talking about. The columns, there's a column that says design and personality, and then you have planetary symbols and numbers. Yeah, that's what you mean, probably. And they have a bunch of planet glyphs and numbers. So those, yes, so those are the planetary positions, and next to the planetary symbols, you have a number. Those are the gates or the hexagrams. So your body graph, this image that's behind me, is compiled of the transit. So for physics purposes, let me make human design very easily understandable. The whole premise of human design is that your electromagnetic field is imprinted with neutrinos before birth and at birth. These neutrinos have mass, therefore they impact you and they create a certain frequency ping in your field. So everybody's aura or electromagnetic field has a certain pattern to their field based on these neutrino imprints, and we all have different ones. And so what those columns are reading are the imprints on your field. You have a 4-1 profile. You have the rarest of all the profiles. You have what's called a fixed profile. I actually have a video. If you follow me and you go through my videos, I have a video just for the 4-1 profile. I haven't even done a video on all the profiles. I've only done it for the 4-1 because it's what's called a fixed fate profile. And it's actually quite rare for you to find someone with that 4-1 profile. Just know that you are meant to be an authority in something. Like, your voice is very authority, and especially as a projector, you came here to master some system, something that really drives you and empowers you, and then to be seen as an authority for it, for sure. That is what you came here to do. Now, fixed fate means your life is like a track. There's not a lot of straying off the track. There's a train on the track and it's going in one direction, and that's the direction that it's going in, okay? So you don't have any format energy in your chart because you don't have a defined sacral, so we don't have to really worry about that. But just know that with the 4-1, your life is pretty fixed. So this is not a psychic reading. This is about chart reading. If you know your type and your profile and you have questions about that, I'm happy to answer them, or any aspect of your chart. Like, someone asked me about the columns on the chart and what it meant. I'm happy to answer any questions like that if you have them. I do personal readings, yes. If you go to my link, you'll see that it says the webinar registration is the first thing you see. I definitely recommend joining that if you're an entrepreneur. Below that, you'll see where it says Human Design Assessments. Click on that link. It'll take you to my reports page and everything that I offer for readings, yes. I do 90-minute readings for both foundational and advanced, and they come with a 30-page report. So you get a recording, you get a live session, and a 30-page report. It's very thorough. You get to ask me, obviously, questions, and I get to help you in whatever specific area you want support in. Yes. Any other questions? Drop them my way. You're welcome. So if you know your human design type, if you know your profile, if you want some information on that, please let me know. I do have some videos teaching on human design as well. on my YouTube. My YouTube is not linked, but it's just my name, Shakti Rios. Oh, thank you for the star. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yay, thank you. Love that. I have a ton of videos on human design. I have been posting, hey, hello. I have been posting a lot of them since I joined a Generator 1-4, another what I call the Scholar Connector. So I've renamed all the profile lines. I teach this in my upcoming mastermind. Because I teach human design from the business angle, I've renamed all the types and profiles and all the things to match the world of business, basically helping you understand who you are as an expert in the world so that people can actually connect with you and help you succeed by becoming your clients or your customer. So as a Generator 1-4, you are what I call the Scholar Connector. So your real strength in being seen in the world is on how much you have the capacity to learn with that 1 line and how well you do with connecting with others with that 4 line. Although the 4 is in the unconscious position, so it might not be something you're aware of that you do really well, the networking and connecting, but you do. You might be more aware of the fact that you like to learn a lot of stuff and that you're very interested in acquiring knowledge and investigating. Thanks for the follows, friends. So nice to meet all of you. Oh, yay! You're getting a real estate license. I work with so many realtors. That's one of my highest clients for design. That's so funny. Yes, I do. Especially if you're already in human design, please come to this webinar. You're going to get so much of it. So much of it. It's completely free. I promise you, you're going to walk away with so much depth and understanding how you want to succeed. I'm even going to be talking about conditioning the centers, which is not something I see talked about a lot, which is going to be very helpful. But yes, I also do masterminds for entrepreneurs, and I have one launching later in December. So attend this webinar if you want to know where to learn more about that, because that's going to be introduced in there as well. Generator 6-2. Oh, a 6-2. How cool. So books I always hesitate to recommend books, and I'll tell you why. I'm a splenic projector. So for me, everything is very intuition based. I trust my authority so much to direct me to the right things. If you search for human design books, a whole bunch are going to come up. So my greatest recommendation to you as a generator is to listen to your sacral in picking a book for you. Really go with what your gut is telling you is the right book for you. That's going to be my recommendation. The webinar, so if you go to my link, so follow me on my profile, my main link has all of my links. So if you click on that, it'll say, the very first thing is going to say Success by Design webinar, register here. So that'll be the registration link. Then underneath that, you have all my other links, my holiday offer link, my human design assessments. There's a wait list for my mastermind as well, list in there. And then there's a free downloadable you can get from me as well on that one link. So everything is there for you. But the first thing there is going to be the webinar link that you see on my profile link. Yes. 4-6. You were so good at the connecting. I'm so jealous. As a 1-3, that is not in my wheelhouse. I am highly introspective. That makes sense. Everything can be answered with my sacral. Yes, it can. So this is why I will not recommend specific things, because you have to listen to yourself. I always take my clients back to their authority. I'm I'm not your authority. Even for joining my courses or my mastermind, I'm how do you know it's right? Is your authority telling you this is right? I don't want you participating in anything that I offer unless your authority is hell yes. That's something that I want to be doing. Because your authority always knows. It always knows. Thank you, Michelle. That's so sweet. Yes, I think you are a 2-4, Sedora. So you are what I call, let me see, what did I call the 2? The natural connector is how I called you. And so twos, if you have a 2 in your profile, consider yourself to be really fortunate because you are a natural genius at something. There's a talent that you have that many people might not know about that you kind of hermit and develop, but you don't have to work at it. You get to just have the talent. So like, whereas the 1 line has to learn a lot and acquire a lot of knowledge, the 2 is just like, I already know that, which is like something that I'm rather envious of with 2 lines. And in general, 4 lines, because you guys are so great at community. And I'm just like, not that person. I want to be a 4 line, but I do not at the same time. I cannot be one. I don't have it in me. I'm the person you want to come to for like knowledge and like embodied wisdom. I'm the person. That's me, for sure. Oh, thank you so much, Noah. Thank you. Much love to you. Thank you so much. So I have been working with business owners and design for the past year. I have been myself studying design since 2016. So I'm coming up on my 7th year of my experiment and working with design. How did I get into design? I got into design. It was introduced to me during my Saturn return, of course. I was 28. I had just had my son. And you had a horrible experience yesterday? Oh no, recently? Oh no, with like a human design person? I'm so sorry. I kind of want to ask you what happened, but at the same time, don't feel pressure to talk about that publicly. Don't feel pressure to talk about it publicly, but yeah, I've been doing, so the sacral is literally like the gut. So when we talk about a gut instinct, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. I am so sorry to hear that. Unfortunately, I've heard that a lot. And again, like, I would say that happens. I've heard that with readings too. Like, someone charged a whole bunch of money and their reading was like terrible. And then they get a reading with me and they're like, I got so much more from your reading than I did from that person. Unfortunately, there are people out there who suck, like, who don't have a sense, like a moral compass or like a sense of ethics. Like, unfortunately, that's a thing. So I would personally say, like, please always trust your authority over everything, even over how long someone's been a coach. Like, that doesn't even matter. Like, those are material things that you might want to know, but what actually matters is, what does your gut tell you? Like, what does your gut actually respond to? If you're a generator. If you're a projector, then using your authority. Like, what is your authority actually telling you is correct? Oh boy, that seems rough. Okay. So yes, if you are a generator, if you are a manifesting generator or a generator and you're someone who's really struggling to access the sacral, there's a really good reason for why. I just had a session with a client. I have a private client right now. Our very first session, she said the same thing to me. On the second session, what comes up is a lot of buried trauma, specifically when it's exual trauma. If you have that kind of trauma in your past, it makes listening to your sacral really freaking hard. So there's a lot of deconditioning. I am also certified in emotional freedom technique, EFT. So I use EFT to help regulate nervous system for my clients so that they can then access that. Because a lot of times you can't if there's trauma there. Okay. That's a real problem for my generators. But we can help you. There is help. So someone asked about resources. I'm sorry, the comments are coming in and I just missed that one. To understand your chart, I'm gonna say what I said to the previous person. Yeah. Well, it's from experience too. Like I work, like I said, I'm not just a reader. I actually am a mentor. I work in long containers with clients. And I'm EFT certified. So I handle things that most people don't, because a lot of people aren't certified in any form of somatic therapy. So why would that come up, right? And a lot of human design people only do readings. They don't actually do mentorship. So this is something that shows up usually over time, when I'm working with someone. It gets like a lot of, and they're entrepreneurs, right? So they come to me because they want business direction, and a big reason why they're struggling is because they have trauma, and the trauma is stuck in their body, and they can't listen to their sacral response. They have no way of accessing that. And so once we clear that up and we regulate the nervous system, then you can listen to your sacral response, and then your decisions become a lot clearer, and it's a lot easier. So human design is the blueprint of your soul. It literally is 100% about who you are. It's like your owner's manual on the planet. On the design column, you'll notice when you run your chart, there's 2 columns that say design and personality. On your design column, this is where I look at things like wounding, body, ancestry, genealogy, things of that nature. On your personality side, this is what we call the conscious side. Here, we look at mind. Where you, and these are aspects of your design on the personality side that you're going to know. So when I bring them up in a reading, people are like, oh yeah, I know that about me. The design side is the unconscious. It's the aspect of that people do not know about themselves often. And it tells me a great amount of story about your karma, your family's karma, where you've come from, relationship to body, money, resources, things of that nature. Yeah, it's very thorough. It's a very fascinating system. Yeah, of course. A lot of people don't look at the design side. I mean, you're HD, so I can say that. You know, a lot of readers, they don't even pay attention to this side. They're all like the conscious. And I'm like, okay, but what happens when you can't access the gifts of your conscious because you're trapped somewhere in your design? And that happens all the time. All the time. Like, the shadow part of your chart needs your attention. And this is why I do EFT. And this is why I help people nervous system regulate. It's like, I can help you all day long find your gifts and align to them. And at the same time, if you have so much subconscious programming and so much trauma and wounding that's like clouding your ability to access, it's like, we're not going to get anywhere. That's not going to happen. You're just going to be spinning in a circle. And this current client that I have now, that's a big problem she's facing. She feels like she keeps hitting walls. And it's because, by the way, I'm going to mention this here. If you're someone who like course hops, you're someone who's like, I'm going to take this course and that course and that course and that course. And you're always like trying to take courses obsessively and you never cannot be taking them. That's your flight trauma response. That's called flight. That's intellectual flight. Okay? This might be the first time you've ever heard that. This is how I recognize someone who has flight syndrome from trauma. They come to me when they're done doing that, so that we can actually deal with the fact that you're trying to run from one course to the next without ever getting to the source point of what's going on. That's how that trauma response shows up. Some of you are going to immediately recognize yourselves in that comment. So Dora's like me. Yeah, I used to be that person. So I recognize that pattern really well. When someone hires me, I'm like, you tend to do this a lot. They're like, yep, okay, cool. As long as we're on the same page. Any other questions? These have been great questions. Thank you for bringing them and for joining me for this session. Cool. Yeah, I did that for a little bit when I first learned about human design. I did, yeah, for sure. I did do a lot of self-reading. I'm a one-line, so that's pretty common for my one-lines to go approach this on their own. And then when I was like ready to really see myself and like I was like done playing games and I'm like, okay, I want to know who I am, like deep down. Like I need to get into the nitty-gritty of this. That's when I like started investing at higher and higher levels. So my assessments, foundational, which is where I recommend everybody start. My advanced are 333, and they're a 90-minute session, and they come with a 30-page report a piece, and you get the recording. And then I have a business alignment session specifically for entrepreneurs. If you've already done a foundational with me, it's 333. If you have not done one, then I think it's 556 or something like that. I can't even remember the exact number, to be honest, because I literally just added this service. And it's split into 2 sessions. Instead of being a 90-minute session, it's 260. And the reason that I do that is because we have to cover some basics before I even jump into your business, and I help you understand why it's not working. So it's funny that you asked about tarot, because I've also been a professional psychic for like 14 years. I did that. I've always done that work, literally forever. But in my readings and in my coaching calls with clients on human design, a lot of times I will have downloads for people. A lot of times I will be like, I see, like, for example, yesterday, my client call for her business, I channeled her entire product. Like, this is this product, this is this product. And then she, like, her mouth was open and she was like, I literally wrote that down yesterday. Like, everything you just said, I wrote down yesterday. You're like reading from my journal. And I was like, well, I just saw it. I saw the outline for whatever you wanted. So I'm telling you that this is it. So that happens all the time. All the time. It is, I feel like I price my services fairly to value my work, but to also make it accessible. One thing I don't like about the human design community is that a lot of their work is inaccessible and it's priced, in my opinion, unfairly. I think I know a reason for why that is. I'm not going to get into that, but I personally don't like that about the community. So I try to be exceptionally fair about all of my pricing and valuing myself, because I have a ton of experience and wisdom around the subject matter. So yay, I'm excited. So I'm an interfaith minister as well. I've been an interfaith minister for a long, long time. I did that when I was very young. So I have an enormous amount of respect for all spiritual paths and traditions. I think one of the greatest things we as humans can have is faith and a deep relationship to source, however that is that we feel best inclined to follow that relationship. So as an interfaith minister, obviously trained in many different faiths and dealing with many different faiths, I am completely not biased to your particular flavor of faith. I will say that for me, I consider human design to be the blueprint that God gave you when you came onto the planet. And it was like, for me, it's God's gift to you that you have this blueprint and that you now have a way of understanding it and reading it so that your life can actually flow the way that it was intended to, instead of feeling like there's so much resistance. And if you are someone whose life has felt like just a lot of resistance, like back to back to back, if you are someone who has felt like, man, it just feels like it's one thing after another, you might have a 3 in your profile for one. Because I'm a 1-3 and that's been my experience. And also you're just living against your design, which is really easy to do because we get programmed as children by our parents who often have different designs than us. So we get wired to operate like them, even though they are not like us. And so this is where this thing comes in. Yes. Oh, if you're a 3-5, listen. Lots of compassion for you, my 3-5 friend. Those are the toughest, to me, that's the toughest profile. I have so much respect for you because you guys are like the masters of leadership from embodiment. And it's the hardest profile, the hardest one, honestly. So enormous amounts of respect for you being born in that profile. Oh, I love that. Family dynamics. It's so beautiful. Family dynamics are so important. I do connections. I don't do like pentas, but I do connections. If you were born in a 3-5 profile, you are obviously a master and you deserve an enormous amount of respect. That's all I'm going to say. How the blueprint works. Oh, yeah. If you're married to a 3-5, also hard. So you can find out your human design by going to my website, shakhtirios.com, SHAKTIRIOS.com, and I have a chart generator, so it'll tell you your aura type there. And then come get your downloadable, which is free on my link. Get your downloadable, so it's like an alignment cheat sheet by design. It's very helpful to learn about your type. So the blueprint, yeah, so everybody has an aura type, like generator, projector, manifestor, reflector. And then you also have something called a profile, which are 2 numbers that look like 3-5, 1-4, 1-3. These are like the themes of your life. They are the costume of your purpose. This is these patterns that are going to be consistent throughout your whole life of how you show up in the world. As someone who works with entrepreneurs, I have renamed the profile types to fit into an archetype dynamic to teach you how you are meant to show up as an authority in the world. So for example, the 3-5 is the scientist activator. This is how you are meant to be seen as an authority in the world. The one who experiments, the one who activates. Very sacred profile, in my opinion. More on that soon coming. So your design, the blueprint of your design, your human design, is literally how you were meant to operate within the Maya or the matrix of this reality with less resistance. So when you understand your blueprint and how to work with your blueprint, what that does is it minimizes the friction that you experience in this plane of reality. Because I don't know if y'all noticed, but Earth is like rough. Being here is a challenge. Hi from California. Being here is a challenge. So one of the things that I specifically love about human design is that it really eases that. So it doesn't feel so damn fucking challenging all the time on this planet. All the time. What is a 6-2 in your rename archetype? I call the 6-2 the example natural. The 6 line being the example and the 2 line being the natural. That's who you are. And let me tell you, with the 6-2 profile, you were here to be seen as the master. Because example natural, you can't get any more masterful than that. However, as a 6-2 profile, you are going to be plagued by perfectionism. Please, please do not let that ruin your gift, is what I'm going to say. 22 years ago, I was like, I don't know, 10. So that would probably be where I was. I do readings, yes. You can read all about my offers, my human design assessments on my link. So follow me and then visit my link. And then there's all these links there. There's a webinar coming up you can attend. There's human design assessments. There's a whole bunch of things. Yeah, the perfectionism thing. It's a real thing. And yes, I am married, but thank you for the compliment. Appreciate that. You wandered into a whole conversation about human design. If you've never seen this weird ass chart, this is a body graph and it's part of your human design. A 2-4, so the traditional name for the 2-4 is the Hermit Opportunist. I've renamed the 2-4 the Natural Connector. My human design, I am a 1-3 splenic projector. So I know pretty much everything about everything when it comes to learning because I investigate to the bottom of everything. And I've lived everything you could possibly imagine and fallen on my ass multiple times. And so a lot of what I teach comes from being the 1 line, which I call the scholar, and the 3rd line, the scientist. So my profile line, according to my archetypal names, is a scientist and the scholar scientist. I haven't written a book yet, but it's coming. Hang tight. I do have a journal that's on my Amazon storefront. I published a journal, a manifestation journal, but I haven't done a book. 4-6 generator. Yeah, so you would be the connector example. Also, 4-6 generators are master networkers. So if you guys are not in networks, like actively networking with other entrepreneurs and joining networking groups, you're missing on a huge freaking opportunity. Also, you need to have your own group, girl. Logical Mermaid. You need to have your own group. Like, run your groups. You are made for memberships. You feel me? That's your jam. What's your rename of a 5-2? Activator, natural. You're consciously an activator, which means you're gonna fucking trigger everyone, by the way. If you have a 5 in your profile, everybody fucking gets triggered by you on a regular basis, and it ain't your fault. It's just projection field. That's what it is. And the natural. I have been studying design since 2016, so that's 7 years? Yeah, it was right after my son was born. My son's about to be 7, so 7 years I have been studying design. Yep. I see I have messages too, so I will get to I'll get to that. Your numbers are in your chart. So if you go to my site, shaktirios.com, SHAKTIRIOS.com, you can run your chart and you'll see your profile lines right on there. Yeah, you're welcome. Perfect. You have a membership. Excellent. Yes, 4 6s. Y'all are the membership humans. The 6-2 is the example natural. That's what I call you, example natural. The 2-4 is the natural connector. Oh, boy mom too, yay. I have a little girl as well. She's 18 months old. 6-2 manifesting generator. Oh man, so you're the example natural and a manifesting generator. First of all, okay, so let me answer the accurate chart without exact birth time. You can find your birth time at the hospital you were born or the county that you were born, for one. That's the first thing I'm going to recommend. For two, if you have a general time, like charts really do not change that dramatically. So a lot of people say like around 5, for example. I can run your chart with 5 and that's going to be pretty bang on, for example. If you're a manifesting generator, first of all, I want you to understand that focusing on one thing and one thing only is the wrong advice for you. People have probably always said that to you your whole life. Just focus on one thing. No, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're a manifesting generator. You're supposed to be doing all the things that excite you and bring joy into your life. So please follow those things. Anything that brings you joy and lights you up, I am giving you the permission slip to go ahead and do it, because that's how manifesting generators stay healthy. Projector gang, what's up? Another projector. What's up, 3-5 projector? What's up? I did not develop this system. This was downloaded in 1987, which is actually the year that I was born. But I think it's pretty cool. I came onto the planet at the same time as wisdom came in, by a man who went by the name of Ra, and he downloaded this entire system. It's called Human Design. It's incredibly empirical and very precise, and it's life-changing, to be honest. As a projector myself, understanding this was like the game changer. Oh, thank you. Excellent presentation. Thank you so much. Another projector. What's up? What's up? 3-5 generators. Oh man, girl, we have so much in common. 3-5 generators. So generators, one of the things I find about them is that they need like healthy movement in your life. A lot of generators that I know that are stagnant, like physically don't have exercise in their back pocket, like they really struggle with their well-being and health. So just make sure you have some sort of healthy expression of activity, because if you don't, like your body is going to be able to notice the difference. That's one of the first things I would say. Also with generators, y'all stop trying to initiate shit. One of the things I see with generators and manifesting generators that drives me nuts is like y'all always try to force things to happen. Like, oh, I need to go apply for this job right now. I need to go do this thing. I need to go do this thing. It's like y'all want to be manifestors like so hard. Every generator I've ever met wants to be a manifestor. It's like, no, you guys have to learn how to work with your strategy, which is you have to wait to respond. All that means is that before you do anything, y'all have to wait for a sign from outside of you. And no, an idea in your brain is not a sign. It's from outside of you. Outside. So you're thinking about changing your job and you go for a walk and all of a sudden a cardinal pops up and somehow you connect that cardinal to your job. That's a sign. That would be a sign. Okay? That. You're not a manifestor. Stop initiating. First thing I'm going to say. Your anxiety will drop like tenfold automatically. Ooh, imagine married to a projector with kid projectors. That's tough. They're constantly going to want to tell you what to do, by the way. Like, you're doing this wrong. You should do this better. That's what projectors are designed to do. They're not trying to be bullies. They're just like, we're literally like herding dogs. That's what projectors are like. We herd people. We're like, no, this could be better. Do this. So this is the natural instinct of the projector. What we have to learn is how to be invited before we give the herding directions. So just don't be offended if they're constantly trying to like shepherd you in a certain direction. Bossy as fuck, yeah. Sorry. Both my kids are projectors. I'm married to a projector and both my kids are projectors. We're all fucking projectors. So it's a difficult house sometimes. Waiting for the invitation. Okay, so for me, waiting to be recognized is so important. So as a business owner, my job is simply for me to show up and show my genius. Like, I came on here, I'm live, I'm answering questions. My job as a projector is just to show my genius. Master something that I love, which for me is human design and business and mentorship. That's what I master, and EFT. And then show up and share my genius. And then I wait for people like you who are on here to see me, recognize me, engage with me, and then do things like register for my masterclass, sign up for an assessment, all those things. That's what it means to be recognized, to wait for an invitation. We don't have to wait to post things online. We don't have to wait to like do a lot of things. We just have to make sure we're being recognized before we share our precious energy. Because what we have to share is so important and valuable, and we don't have all of this energy like generators do. So we have to make sure wherever we're sharing it, it's actually valued. Otherwise, projectors end up feeling fucking bitter because it's like we give all this great advice and nobody fucking listens to us. Yeah, because they're not ready. They don't see us. So they're not going to receive what we have. Okay? So if you are a projector and you want to give someone advice in your life, one of the easiest things you can do is say, hey, I have an idea for how this can be better or how we can do this differently. Are you open to hearing it? Ask the other person if they're available to hear you. And if they say yes, then you can share it. And if they say no, then you don't. And you learn how to deal with that. Informing feels very uncomfortable for a lot of manifestors. I have noticed that if you're a manifester, because informing is very strong, you know, like this is what I'm going to do and I'm going to do it. And what I find with adult manifestors is that the majority of them have been crushed in their childhood. So their personal sense of empowerment is like this big. And their aura is huge. Manifestors are huge and they're big people energetically and they're meant to be. But unfortunately, as children, they get squashed and then they grow up as adults who are very uncomfortable asserting their power. This is a very common dynamic with manifestor clients. If you don't know your exact birth time and you have a general number, sometimes I'll run charts every 15 minutes for clients and just to see how much the chart changes. But if you have a general idea, you can also work with that or call the hospital or the county where you were born. No, generators are meant to respond. So it's different because every type is really waiting for something. Even manifestors. Manifestors have to wait for their own internal guidance system to know what's correct for them to do. Generators are waiting for external signs to know their next step in the moment and listen to the sacral response. Projectors are waiting to be recognized and acknowledged before they're sharing their wisdom. And reflectors are waiting a lunar cycle, so like a full month, before they're making any decision, so they have time to observe all the angles of a decision and really feel the transits, feel the moon moving through all of the hexagrams. As a 4-6 manifesting generator, you're like perfectly designed for social networks. So you need to take advantage of that because you have the energy for social networks and you have the natural intelligence to connect with people and show up in like a mastery position. So really take advantage of that. So my masterclass on December 8th is free. It is a free webinar. You absolutely want to join that webinar. I'm just saying. And if you want a personalized reading, you can find that under my assessments. A 5-1. What? 5-1s? Listen, you came here with the universal solution, yo. Don't be confused. You came here, you know who else is a 5-1? Joe Dispenza. Joe Dispenza's a 5-1. You 5-1s came here to have this universal solution for everyone. You like know the way. Like you need to like really step into that because every time I see a 5-1, I'm like, you can provide a universalized solution. Everybody else cannot, but you can create it. Welcome, welcome. A 2-4. So you are what I call the natural connector. Fulfillment for 6-2 manifesting generator. Definitely, you have to be in a leadership role where you are using your genius. Probably more than, so here we call like a team leader energy. So you have to be leading a team and using your like, basically you are meant to be like the role model influencer energy, fed by this natural talent of your 2 line. But the thing about the 6-2 sometimes is struggle here, and also with 2-4s, is that 6s and 4s are more social. They can be very external, and that kind of competes with the 2, which is very hermiting and doesn't necessarily want to be seen. So that's usually the challenge that I see with those 2 profile lines. You know, there's a lot of things that make people romantically compatible. It's not as simple as saying profile lines or aura types at all. I do relationship connection chart readings as well. There's different things that make people compatible. One of the cool things about doing something like a connection reading is you get to see where people are going to struggle. So you actually get to see where your sore spot is going to be in your relationship, and how to work on that. So that's one of the cool things about it. Also, you get to see, of course, like your strengths, like where are you the most compatible energetically and where do you like fulfill each other, which is cool. Thanks for all the likes, y'all, and for sharing the video. I'm getting notified people are sharing this. Thank you so much. Definitely join my upcoming masterclass if you are an entrepreneur interested in learning about how design can support you. If you want an assessment, I'm happy to offer you those. And there is a mastermind upcoming for entrepreneurs that if you attend the webinar, you'll learn about. Otherwise, if you're just like, whatever it is, I want to learn about it, you can get on the mastermind waitlist now. That's available for you as well. And there's a free downloadable gift for you on my link as well for each design. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. You know, as a projector, it took me a long time to really understand how to work my unique flavor of genius. But it's been one of the most life-changing things to learn. And if you're on here and you're a projector and you're struggling to be seen, which I see a lot with projectors, really struggling to be seen and recognized, know that there is a place for you. It's a matter of learning how to access your genius and how to receive it and how to know your natural limits as well. That's really, really important. One of the reasons I love mentoring entrepreneurs is because a lot of my entrepreneurs are projectors. Projectors are really drawn to that, and helping them see themselves is really beautiful. You know, whereas generators, they're here to see themselves, projectors are here to see the other. So it's hard for projectors to see themselves sometimes. They really need someone outside of them to see them so that they can understand themselves clearly. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. My pleasure. Oh, that's a great idea. How to see yourself as a projector. I do have videos. So if you scroll through my videos, I have videos where I go through charts, like different aspects of your chart, like scroll down. I'm not allowed to make playlists for some reason. It won't let me. So I can't organize playlists for you guys yet. I'm trying. Hi from Georgia. I moved from there a couple years ago. So I can't, I'm sorry that I don't have playlists for you guys. You just kind of have to like scroll, but they're there. If you are a manifesting generator, I spoke about that earlier. I'm also going to be uploading this playlist, this replay, by the way, on my website and on my YouTube channel. So go to my website, shaktireos.com, and make sure you follow the site and get notifications, get on my email list. I also send these emails out. If you get the PDF download on my link, my alignment guide by type, you'll automatically get on my email list and you'll get a replay of this whole video as well. I talk about manifesting generators earlier in this live. You're very multi-passionate beings. It's very important that you are following your passions in order to feel fulfilled. One of the greatest mistakes a man-gen can make is focusing just on one thing and limiting their creativity. Responding looks like waiting for a sign from outside of you. That's what it looks like. So my handle, I think, is just at Shakti Rios, like my name, SHAKTIRIOS. YouTube got handles recently, and I don't know, I think that's my handle. But I will actually link my YouTube on my TikTok because I know there's a way to do that. I just haven't done it. My Instagram is linked though on there. You're welcome. So when you're waiting to respond, you're waiting from an outside sign. You're waiting to see something from outside of you to give you the signal to move on and do something or move forward. So here's a really good example. Let's say you want to go on vacation as a generator and you're like, I'm not going to start looking up flights or whatever. I'm just going to have in my mind that I want to go on vacation. And then you're like driving to work and all of a sudden you see a billboard with a picture with the like exact vacation that you wanted to take. And you're like, oh my God, there's a sign. I would definitely want to go to a beach that looks just like that. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to focus on that after work. You get to work and then your friend calls you and it's like, hey, like, I really want to take a vacation. Like, do you want to go to the beach? And you're like, oh my God, I was just thinking about that, literally. So those are all signs that it is correct for you to move towards the next step. Now, just know that your sacral is mechanical and it only knows what's correct for it in the moment. So just because you're getting a yes on something right now, like, doesn't mean you're gonna know a yes about something 2 weeks from now. It doesn't like predict the future. It only knows what it knows in the moment. That's it. All right, my friends, so I have to bounce from where I am. I have more client calls to attend to for the rest of the day, but this live has been wonderful. If you want more lives, let me know and I will come on here and spend some more time with you, but definitely sign up for that masterclass. It's December 8th. It's free. If you're an entrepreneur, you definitely want to be in there. And if you want an assessment, you can also find my assessments on my links. Thank you for spending this time with me and for bringing your beautiful questions. They have been wonderful to answer, and I will have the replay up of this video and send it out to my email list when it's available. All right. Love y'all. Bye.